The New York Giants are a dumpster fire. The Carolina Panthers are not. Are the champs back? Are they back? I hope to fuck that they are. And thank God Pete Morelli is not officiating this football game. James Worthington is here. I am Adrian Fedque. The first time we've ever let off with officiating on the Bitter Birds. Clete Blakeman is your official for Sunday's matchup.
Clete Blakeman, that's a hell of a football name there. Yeah, man, I'm real excited for this one. It should be a really good game. I'm glad we're home. I'm going to be glad to be back down at the link in that atmosphere, and I think we're going to play good. I do think we're going to keep the momentum rolling. I'm sure we'll get into all that, man. Happy to be back this week.
Yeah, the first thing I want to get into is kind of last week's performance. What did you think about it? Because the week prior, the Giants played the Panthers, and the Panthers needed a 62-yard field goal to get past them. And then the Eagles last week, they beat them 34-13, but I didn't think it was a great performance. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. What did you make of it?
I mean, offensively, it looked like the rhythm was there. Carson Wentz looked completely back. That first touchdown pass you had to Alshon Jeffrey was vintage Carson Wentz. It was fun to watch from at home, man. I had a blast. They look great. I think that they are back. I think that's the confidence boost they needed. They had the turnover early in the game. That's what we're going to have to do more of throughout the season is get turnovers like that and make it easy for our offense to score. Carson was back on third down. The red zone efficiency is there. So I really like what I see. There's still a lot to improve, obviously. There's still some issues up front, but I thought Malu played better. So we'll see how they play this week. But, I thought they looked pretty good last week. Not great. Not 34-13 over a good team great because the Giants are trash, but it's what they should have done. So
yeah, the way I kind of look at it is because some people have said that this week. The way I kind of look at it is I'm like, I don't think Carolina's that good right now. They're just there. You got a guy in Cam Newton who's actually has a career high in his completion percentage this year, but he only has one completion over 20 yards. He's 1 for 14 on passes over 20 yards. They are not getting the ball downfield. They're not really averaging a lot through the air. They're running the football, so they're still doing that ground and pound stuff. But Cam Newton, it's not really working out so far in North Turner's offense.
Yeah, no, they haven't looked that great. I think a lot of their problems are up front. I know they haven't allowed that many sacks, but we kind of think that's part of the Cam Newton effect. I mean, they're mediocre, man. They have a lot of talent, but they're just kind of up and down. One week they'll play good, another week they won't. Yep. I kind of think it all goes with Cam. If he gets confident, if he gets locked in early, it gets the whole team going. And if we get some turnovers early, he's going to fold, and it could be a blowout. So that's the kind of way the Panthers are. They're weird, man. They're a weird team. You said it right before the show.
Yeah, they're inconsistent, and they're definitely a better home team than they are a road team. And they're not going to be at home this Sunday. So you talked about the offensive line. It's crazy because if you look at the stats, they're tied for 31st in terms of sacks allowed. They've only allowed 8. That's it. But you look at their line, it's Chris Clark is your left tackle. Meh. Taylor Moton, second-round draft pick last year, is their right tackle. Greg Van Rotten is their left guard. I don't even know who the fuck that is. And I know who 90% of the offensive linemen in the NFL are. Trey Turner, he's okay at right guard. And Ryan Khalil's their center. So the interior, on the right side is good. But those other three, Eagles should have their way, you would think.
Yeah, I mean, they had their way last year. I know that, Jernigan's not in there. But, we have one of the best C-lines in football again. I saw some Pro Football Focus stat that ranked us the best team line in the league.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I saw
that right there.
It shows. It shows Pro Football Focus.
And because I actually got into an argument with a guy over Jalen Mills a couple weeks ago. Eagles fan forever, so shout out to you. But because he thinks Jalen Mills is trash, and I don't. And he threw at me that he's been the worst rated PFF cornerback in the last 2 years, and I just immediately took that stat and threw it out in the trash because their rankings are complete shit. And the fact that they have the Eagles offensive line, as putrid as they've looked this year, the number 2 line in the league, what are you guys watching?
Yeah, I mean, it's been inconsistencies. Both units have shown flashes and periods of greatness, but they've also shown periods where there's just major issues where it has a scratch in our head saying, are these the same guys that played last season? I mean, the Eagles' defensive line, I don't think has been dominant at all. They've had dominant stretches, like I just said, but they are not, in my opinion, playing as the best unit in the league right now.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, I do think that being at home after a big win last week is going to have them going. I think that they're going to have their way with the Carolina offensive line. Whether we get a lot of sacks, I don't know, because Cam Newton's Cam Newton. But I think we're going to be in his face. We're going to be in the backfield all day. I expect Fletcher Cox to have a big game. He's been good, but I think he's about to make some noise. It's been a little bit where he dominated that Atlanta game.
He overwhelmed Trey Turner last year.
Yeah.
Just overwhelmed him. Straight bull rush. I remember very, very vividly. Oh, yeah.
And I think he's due for one of those big, Fletcher Cox, this is how good of a player I am. Because nationally, I think he's very underrated. I think he's due for
he's due for a deep penetration game. Just like I'm due for some deep penetration shirts. Sorry, guys. You're going to make them, I know.
It's not where I thought you were going with that joke there, bud. But yeah, no, I expect them to play good, and they got the home crowd to their advantage. And playing in Philly, it is not easy. So we're going to be out there, we're going to be feeling good, and we're going to be loud as hell. I think they'll feed off that. I'm excited to see it. I think too. I think we're going to get to Cam early. I expect some turnovers, which are always good.
Okay, Cam does have 4. I think it's like 4 interceptions on the season or whatever it is.
I mean, the fact that they don't even go down the field, like that's what beats us is the deep pass. So that's another thing that I'm confident going into the game. I really am.
Yeah, the only guy that stretches the field for them is Torrey Smith. I mean, you got DJ Moore, but he's more of an underneath guy. Every one of these guys is like kind of underneath. Devin Funchess is like fat and outside guy.
He's just huge.
Yeah, he's just a big guy. He's a big dude. He's not as fat as Kelvin Benjamin, but he's got some pounds on him. He's got some
Yeah, I mean, dude, the only thing about him is that catch last week. Holy hell. That was a hell of a catch. If he does that to us this week, I'll be mad. Can't let that happen.
All right, so let's move on to the other side of the ball. We probably should have started with our offense first. Nobody really cares about Carolina, but whatever. Okay, so Carson Wentz, for the first time last week, was basically held upright. Well, not more consistently, because it wasn't consistent, but it was better. It was only 1 sack compared to 15 in 4 games prior. And we saw what happened. Carson Wentz carved the Giants apart. Now, I've been a kind of a proponent of, let's run the football. Let's get the offensive line back. We'll see if that kind of strategy works this week. Now, you guys are going to turn around and say, well, the Carolina Panthers are allowing 4.6 yards per carry. But I'm curious to see if the Eagles can run the ball, because the way that the Eagles run, it plays into Carolina's strengths. So outside zone sweeps, going kind of sideline to sideline, you got Luke Kuechly, you got Thomas Davis. Those 2 guys just fly around the football field. I'm not so sure you can do those kind of things. It might actually be a big game for Wendell Smallwood in between the tackles. How about that?
Could be, man. I mean, they've been really giving him a lot of carries. I do want to see more of Corey Clement. I think he runs hard. Yeah. I think he's got a lot to offer. And honestly, I still get nervous with Smallwood fumbling. But he has looked better. I mean, you and me both trashed him when he was getting carries, and he hasn't looked bad. So,
yeah, I'm starting to trash him again, though, because the fumbling is pissing me off.
Fumbling's bad, and especially the player, like I don't care he hasn't played a lot. He's considered a veteran now, especially with that running back room with Ajayi hurt. So the fumbling can't happen. And that's the thing. Corey Clement came up big for us, in big moments last year. So with the game on the line, I want to see him with the football if we're running, not Wendell Smallwood. But, we'll see. I do think that we will be able to move the ball against Carolina, but it has to be between the tackles. And I think that that's what our offensive line wants to do. They want to maul people. I mean, I know we've got a great athletic center in Kelsey. Yeah. Lane Johnson's athletic, but they like to maul guys. So I'd like to see him go between the tackles, and it definitely negates Kuechly and Thomas Davis, because they're both just absolute monsters back there.
Yeah, and this might actually be a game where we see more of Josh Adams too.
Yeah, that's definitely potential for that. I'd like to see it. Is Sproles playing this week or no? Is he still out?
I don't think he's playing.
Man, it's like he can't even get on the field. It's like we could have kept Blount probably, but
yeah,
it's a shame, man. Definitely a shame.
Yeah. So yeah, running the ball between the tackles. I'm also curious to see this matchup between James Bradberry and Alshon Jeffrey. I think Bradberry is like one of the most. Actually, he might be the most underrated corner in the league. Like, this dude's really good, and people don't know who he is. So James Bradberry, I've got some nuggets. I've got numbers. So he has faced Julio Jones, AJ Green, and Odell Beckham at different points this season. The only guy that got the best of him was Beckham. Beckham had a huge day against him. 8 catches for 131 yards. But he shut down A.J. Green. He shut down Julio Jones. Green, 2 for 12. Julio Jones, 5 for 64. These guys kind of longer, bigger receivers. Bradbury's like a long zone corner. Beckham is quick and jittery. So that's the way I'm looking at that. He probably just struggles against quick and jittery players. And you look at Alshon Jeffrey, well, he's more physicality. So I'm curious to see how this matchup goes because Alshon has been huge, just carrying the load for the wideouts because it's been a thin wide receiving core this year, and he's getting targeted a lot. I think I saw the stat yesterday. It was 23.9% of the time he's getting targeted, and he's doing what he needs to do. I mean, he's moving chains, he's catching quick slants, he's catching the back shoulder balls, he's getting in the end zone. He's doing a lot right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, he looks like a legitimate -- receiver. I saw one of your tweets the other day. I liked it, and I thought it was on point, basically, that we just don't have as much talent. It's making it Carson has to force it to Alshon, and he's a lot more comfortable doing that because they have a little bit more chemistry. I mean, the outside shoulder passes were awesome. He's looked great. I personally think he's going to get the best of Bradbury. I'm not as high on Bradbury as you are. I also did not know those stats, and this is your living, so you might know a little more than me, but I think he's going to get the best, the best of him. I think Carson and him are really going to start putting up some big numbers, and it's going to be Ertz and Jeffrey, man. Aguilar's I think he'll be better. He was a little bit better, but Ertz and Jeffrey are your two like star caliber receivers, and I think that they're going to put the numbers up, and they should have both big games against Carolina, I think.
The guy who's going to put up numbers is Zach Ertz in this game because
Zach Ertz is on pace for a crazy season.
Yeah, he's going to be going up against Mike Adams. Now, the other thing that Carolina does is obviously they like to play the zone defense, but they get a lot of depth in their zone. They like to keep plays in front of them. Carson Wentz is at his best, like in the intermediate range. And this is kind of where like Carolina is going to be playing that chess match. So like it goes back to a lot of the things that Carolina does defensively. It's like their strengths are basically what we like to do.
Yeah.
And, I'm curious how this is going to play out.
Well, and that's why if you've watched the game last year, we looked good and it was a big win for us. It was a big, game that showed us that we were going to be a legitimate contender.
Yeah.
But we did come out with the win, and it was a lot of like turnovers on defense and everything. Yeah. They came through 3 picks, so that's what's going to have to happen. Like, we're not going to put up 30 points on Carolina. I think we'll move the ball. I do. I think the important thing is we're going to have to eat some clock and have some long sustained drives. That rhythm we saw last week, the third down efficiency, it keeps the drives going. And honestly, as an Eagles fan, just much more or less stressful to watch when you see them prime like that, man. And I hope we see more of it. But you're right, man. They match up with us well from that standpoint. But again, dude, Carson Wentz mentally, Doug Peterson, they're just on another level. So I think we'll be ready.
Yeah. It's like I feel like Carolina's offense is overrated, but their defense is underrated. And the reason why I think it's underrated is like because they're known for their defensive line. Well, the defensive line right now for them isn't like that special. So they've only registered 12 sacks on the year, which is 22nd in football. Heading into this year, Carolina's cornerbacks were awful. Like their secondary was awful. They've been really struggling in this area since Josh Norman left. Well, you got James Bradbury, and on the other side, you have Dante Jackson, who right now has 3 interceptions, tied for the league lead as a rookie, second-round pick out of LSU. This was a guy that I really liked coming out. I wanted the Eagles to potentially draft him to be their slot cornerback, and he's playing outside right now. So that's another guy to watch. But I'm curious to see what they would do with Jackson. Would they maybe slide him into the nickel role to take on Aguilar? Because who's going to be on the outside for the Birds?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they're going to put him in the nickel to take on Aguilar, yeah, I don't know. I guess is it still Jordan Matthews playing out there? I mean,
Yeah,
he's
I guess they would
hasn't
put him
been.
back there because they still have Captain Munnerlyn. They can put him.
Yeah, and Munnerlin's solid. Like he's not bad. So, like you said, man, Ertz is going to have a big game. He's going to have to work the middle of the field, and we're going to have to run the football. But I think I really think Alshon's still going to have a big game. I mean, he's just I honestly think he's locked in. I thought he was going to have a big year before the season.
Yeah,
Wasn't planning on him missing as many games, but it's just like he is a legitimate number one receiver when he's healthy. He's finally healthy. He's got one of the best quarterbacks in the league thrown to him. So I don't really care who's covering him unless it's like Jalen Ramsey or someone like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I think what's going to happen is I think they're going to force feed him.
yeah.
Bradbury's going to get his. Jeffrey's going to get his.
It'll be one of those where like Jeffrey might get 8 for 84, but if they keep him out of the end zone, it's like a win. So
Yeah.
there's gonna be high volume there. It's one of those. I mean, he's
Well, that's kind of like what he did. Well, Julio Jones. I don't has he even still not scored a touchdown? So it's
that's crazy.
5 for 64 on Julio. So yeah, it's like when Julio went for over 100 against the Eagles, we praised Darby for what he did. Well, he didn't even get to 8. He didn't get to 70 on Bradbury. Beckham though went off though.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be interesting. And then, like you just said, I mean, Beckham's more of a shiftier guy, and it seems like he has had more success with the physical guys. So we'll see. I mean, I could be wrong. I just got a feeling. So, and I really like if this game was in Carolina, I would feel a lot worse about it. Well, the Eagles are a different team at home. I know that they haven't looked as good this year at home because they just didn't look as good generally.
Mhm.
But last week they got things rolling. I think their confidence is high. They're also coming off a long week, which I don't think
That does help them.
underrated. And that's every extra day Dougie P gets to prepare. I mean that's really good for us. So,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
dude, that
So
one play I do want to say quickly. That the first touchdown I mentioned it already. Just the way they lined up and they snapped up, they moved like that looked a lot more like last season. Like just the way they did it, the body language, they moved in unison. That I expect to see more of that kind of stuff. I mean they showed it last week, so it was good to see.
yeah. Okay. There was something I wanted to say and I forgot.
I'm sorry.
I just blanked. I blanked.
I apologize.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'll keep it moving because I know how to speak. Okay. So let's get into like the pass run ratio stuff because I mean I made a video about this earlier in the week. So there was like a myth going around that like the Eagles fixed their pass run ratio. No, they really didn't. So the first 3 quarters they threw it 35 times with only 20 designed runs. Now at the end of the game, the Eagles only averaged 3.5 yards per carry, but if you look through 3 quarters, 20 carries for 84 yards. So 4.1 yards per carry. The reason why the yards per carry went down, I mean, fourth quarter, when you're up by 21 points, you're just running out the clock and everything's predictable. Of course, you're only going to get 1 or 2 yards a carry, in the fourth quarter. But through 3 quarters, the Eagles were actually running the ball better than you might think.
Yeah, I mean, and I completely agree with you. I still wanted to see more runs. I was watching the game saying, Doug, run the ball, Doug, run the ball. And like, okay, we put up 34 points, but it doesn't matter. Like, I want to see more run because it gets our offensive line going. I don't care who you have. I mean, I used to play the O-line. The majority of those O-linemen want to run block. They want to, break down their opponents. So come fourth quarter, if it's a close game, you have the advantage. And it also just helps your offense get in a rhythm. It sets up the play action. It's just always good to get established the run. I mean, it's pass.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was DiFilippo and Reich kind of checking him or if maybe, Deuce Staley needs to step up and say something or Mike Rowe, but it's too much. It's almost like Andy Reid-esque, and I don't want to use that because they came like he's from it under Andy Reid, but it's what it looked like. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully we see it change. Do I think it will? No, because he's giving us no reason to think it's going to change.
And like the way this matchup is, I don't think they're going to run it this week either. I just don't. I think they're going to run it or throw it a lot again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a head scratcher because this team can run the football, and they showed it last year. I don't know if they're just trying to keep the backs fresh for when it gets cold, but that would be a stupid excuse to me because you need to win every game you can right now.
Yeah. I don't think it's that. I think it's. I think Doug is just. I don't think
he's happy.
Backs, I guess.
Yeah, either that or like I don't know. Who knows what it is? Like I don't know how much like optionality Carson has at the line of scrimmage. Whether he's given run plays and pass plays, and he's the one picking it based on what they're showing us. I don't know because it could be more Carson. We don't know how it works, but regardless, even if the look isn't there, if you're passing, this pass to run ratio is this bad, man, it's got to be fixed. Sometimes you just got to run the ball to keep them honest.
Yeah. And you know what the 100% truth about this is? If the O-line pass protected and Carson Wentz was not getting hit at all, throw it fucking 100 times a game.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Like, Carson Wentz is your weapon. He's your guy. Like, they're not going to run the football as well as you're going to throw it if you can keep him upright. But that's the thing. It's like, maybe by the end of the year, fine, you can go back to this sort of ratio. But right now, you need to get the offensive line in rhythm. It's imperative that you get their confidence back. That's what this is about. That's why you need to run the ball, is so they can get the confidence in pass protection. It's not about having the ratio. It's about giving the line confidence.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think it's so important to run the football. But the way the NFL is going, like if you look at all the rules, like there's not that many run dominant teams anymore. All the good teams, they can run the football, but they pass it a lot more. So I mean, the league's changing. The rules, it's like if you take a deep shot, you're either going to hit it or you're going to get a PI. It's pretty much where it's at anymore.
Or an illegal contact, yeah.
Yeah, or illegal contact, or roughing the passer. Like,
yeah.
It's getting ridiculous.
So, like, you've got 4 options and 3 of them are good.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, but you're right. I mean, the offensive line, they need to get their confidence back, their mojo back. They don't have it right now. Jason Peters has not looked himself. I mean, he's going to play with a torn bicep and whatever other injury he's dealing with. I think that's a mistake.
Speaking of Peters, when he left, the line played better. Big V should be starting this season.
Dude, I hate to say it because he looked so great against Atlanta, but something's not right with him. And I get he wants to stay in because it's probably his last season and he doesn't want to miss games again. But why don't you just get him healthy for the playoff push? Like this team, the division is not that great. They're going to be in the playoff run. So why not get him healthy? Let develop Big V a little bit too, and then get Jason Peters back in there in a month.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like this call, and
no, I don't like it, and I don't know if it's him like talk because I know him and Lurie are close, and like Jason Peters has a lot of pull, but I don't think Doug Peterson would get let a player dictate that. So it's a head scratcher, man. Watch him go play his ass off this week.
Yeah.
I'd be happy.
All right, so I'm kind of looking at my preview here and just taking some nuggets out of here. So I talked about Cam Newton earlier in the show. 65.9% completion percentage. That is the best of his career, but he's averaging just 6.8 yards per attempt. So Dak Newton in Carolina, 27th among quarterbacks with 90 attempts.
Yeah, and real quick, freaking Cowboys fans thinking Dak's the second coming of Christ again is really annoying. But it's the worst.
Oh, like you didn't get over 200 yards, bro.
I know. And cool. They killed Jacksonville. Like that was an anomaly game. They'll lose to Washington. Watch. But yeah, no. I mean, Cam, like we talked about, they don't stretch the field. A lot of his completions are to McCaffrey, who is just checked down or designed short plays. Which is like McCaffrey's a hell of a player. I was wrong on him. I didn't think he would be this good. I mean, he can even run the football. He hasn't gotten banged up. I don't think he's missed a game. So I think that's someone we definitely have to watch out for. I do think our linebackers will be able to handle it, though. But, yeah, I mean, also with this defensive line, the way I think they're going to play, Cam ain't going to have enough time to go deep. So whether it's either going to be on him to run the football, like it's scramble or check down. And if they're doing that, they're playing right into what we want them to do because we can't cover a deep ball, but we can stop pretty much everything else. So.
Yeah, you ain't kidding about that. And I guess that leads perfectly to a Jalen Mills segment. So you talked about it. I mean, they can't complete a deep ball. The double move is Jalen Mills' kryptonite.
Yeah.
What are the chances that he does not prevent a double move this weekend?
I mean, if someone's going to do it to him, I think it'd be Torrey Smith. And there's just something
Torrey's going to set him up.
There's something about the players coming back here that they always, I know Deshaun does it, but it seems like a lot of times, like the players that we let go, they come back here and they play good. Torrey Smith's first time he's going to see the banner too, so I think you'll hear a little bit of Torrey Smith's name being called this game. I don't really think he has much left, but I just have a weird feeling. I hope he doesn't hit Jalen Mills with a double move because I'll be really pissed. I'm getting sick of seeing it. But, I mean, it could happen. He bites on it almost every time. I mean, like he's a hell of a cornerback when it comes to like red zone play.
I
He's
got a
great
nugget for you
down
in a
there.
second. I got a nugget
Yeah.
for you in a second.
Give it to me now. I want to hear it.
1 catch allowed on 9 targets in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, because he's
That's
physical, man.
phenomenal.
He's physical as hell.
That's what
Down
that
there.
is.
He's great. It's almost like I just want to say keep him off the field till they get down to the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
But
he's
also,
the
I mean,
red zone cornerback.
also they are like I saw your tweets this week. They're playing up, and I noticed it. They're playing tighter, like
Yes,
which
they
is
are.
good. I mean, it's Darby especially. He's got the speed to recover. Darby played great last week. I think that's one of the best games I've seen him play in a while.
Shut down.
So I hope he, yeah, hell yeah. I hope he can keep that up. But he's just so up and down, Darby.
Yeah. So this was a film study that Brennan and I did. I think it was Wednesday we did it. So yeah, adjustments being made by Jim Schwartz. Cornerbacks creeping up closer to the line of scrimmage. More 2 deep safety looks. They're still playing the single high, but they're mixing in different coverages. So it's not just single, or it's not just off coverage all the time. They're mixing in different things. And I've got some more numbers here. So in terms of red zone defense, the Eagles are #1 in the NFL in this area. They've surrendered just 8 touchdowns on 23 possessions in the red zone. And I talked about Jalen Mills already. Only 1 catch on 9 targets inside the 20.
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of the theme of the season so far. A lot of the times when we let up, touchdowns, it's big plays. Against Atlanta, you saw the red zone, the defense, that's what won the game. So, I mean, they've been a good red zone defense since, I'd say, last season. I think it does help with the physicality of our corners, especially Jalen Mills, like we just talked about. And you can't understate the importance of the defensive line and the pressure they get because, down in the red zone, I think they do get a little more amped up, and you get Fletch going, you get the pass rush coming, you got Malcolm back there, who I think is a good safety net. And I mean, the linebackers can cover; they can shut down tight ends. So this defense is built to play well in the red zone. I'd say it is unfortunate that how many big plays we give up, but yeah, I mean they've been good down there, and it's been consistent. So it's not luck; it's real.
Yeah, this is what they do, and this is basically what a shutdown defense is now in today's NFL. You get yards between the 20s, but if you limit to field goals instead of touchdowns, that's what it's all about in today's age.
Yes, yeah. Like you said, I couldn't have said it better myself, man. With the rules the way they are, the way the game's set up, it's tighten up down in the 20s and give up 3 because they want scoring. They're pushing the offense. Is what it is. I'm sure to football purists like you, because I know I can speak for me, I don't like it. I want to go back to the way it was.
I hate the game.
Yeah, I hate it.
I'm having trouble watching it. Like
sometimes I am too, man. With all the flags, it just ruins the game. It's really annoying, and it sucks because football. Like I live for football. It's my favorite sport, man. But they gotta take the physicality out of it because they don't want people dying down the road. Which I get it, but it just sucks. It sucks.
Well, I'm dying inside. It's not the same game.
I know. I used to love Jacked Up on ESPN, man.
Yeah. You can't even do Jacked Up anymore because every hit is a flag.
Yep. I know. It sucks.
Christ.
Wait, every time that happens to us, man, the roughing the passer or like the big hit, I get so angry because it's just a football play, but like not anymore.
Yeah. Well, I am really encouraged by what I did see from the D-line last week because heading into the game, the Eagles were 3rd worst in terms of applying pressure to the quarterback. 3rd worst with that defensive line.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher, and it's something that was definitely a source of frustration for me, and I know it was for you. And, you can say all you want about the short pass game, but Fletcher Cox can drive guys back every play.
Yes.
We have 4 solid defensive ends. And Haloti Ngata is not bad. Destiny Vio's been okay. I get where they might miss.
He got released, by the way.
What?
So when they brought in McDougal.
Oh shit! Okay, I didn't even hear about that. I've been so busy at work. I used to get these. I get alerts on my phone from the Eagles app, but I didn't get that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. So I guess
I'm gonna have to send you alerts then.
Yeah, I'm gonna just sign up for them. I'm just gonna let I'll just have alerts for some Eagles. I'll just have you on my Twitter alert, and you can tweet the news.
There you go. Well,
That's crazy.
all the time anyway.
Yeah, that's crazy because, like, honestly, he didn't he have a sack last week? Or was that 2 weeks ago?
Might have been 2 weeks ago, but
Yeah.
like that was a surprising release because he's
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
He wasn't playing horrible. Like,
Yeah.
so it's weird, but uh,
What it tells me is Timmy Jernigan's going to be coming back soon.
that's what it has to be, that because Roseman wouldn't make the move otherwise. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a big boost for us if he's healthy and he comes back and plays anything like he did before he got his contract extension, which I guess is nullified now, isn't
Mhm.
it? So yeah, if we can get half of that first 8 games, Timmy Jernigan, man, him and Cox looked great last year together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Timmy and Cox, and you mix in the sweaty one in there. There you go. All right. So Christian McCaffrey, he's carried the ball 71 times, 349 yards, 34 receptions for 238 yards. So a lot of production for him. Now, Panthers head coach Ron Rivera, he compared McCaffrey to Darren Sproles during a conference call with reporters this week. So here's what he had to say about that. First of all, Derek is a heck of a young man. So is Christian. Both are very good football players. They study the game. They work hard at the game. Darren is a threat out of the backfield. Darren can run the ball pretty well inside. I don't think people realize that or recognize that. I've always believed Darren was a terrific inside runner, and he's very scary out of the backfield. I actually like this comparison because Darren Sproles can run in between the tackles. He just doesn't do it a lot, I guess, per se. So with McCaffrey, I kind of see the same thing. He doesn't look like a guy who could run in between the tackles, but he did at Stanford, and he's still doing it in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it actually, when you say it like that, it does make a lot of sense. I wouldn't say it, I guess, at first thought. But they're both, yeah, smaller backs, but they're both, pretty cut and muscular and like thick.
Yeah,
McCaffrey has shown the ability to run between the tackles, like you said. He hasn't missed a game in his career, I don't think, like we talked about earlier. So, I mean, and I'll be, like I said, I was wrong. I mean, he's a good back. He's a top 10 NFL back. He could
yeah,
end up being like top 7-ish. He's a crazy threat out of the backfield as a receiver, which Darren Sproles was. I don't know if he still is, but he was. I mean, hell, if you put McCaffrey back there to return punts, I'm sure he could do that. I don't know if he's like I don't know if I don't think they have him back there to return punts. I honestly don't know. But I mean, he's a solid player, man. I think that's a solid comparison.
yeah. Let me see if Darren Sproles is back this week. I don't think he is, but maybe he
And
is.
I was gonna say, who is there? Yeah, they're playing. Yeah, it's Demir
He's
Bird.
gonna
Okay,
be, yeah,
yeah,
he's
Christian
out.
McCaffrey. Because I was gonna say, they don't want to risk him back there. I know
Doug
he could do
Peterson.
it.
Doug Peterson says he's hopeful Sproles can practice next week and play in Week 8.
I didn't even. Doug Peterson's been saying Sproles is almost back for like weeks. Like
Yeah,
it didn't seem like this injury just must be lingering, man. It's really frustrating because he, when healthy, can definitely help our offense out. And honestly, he's great in pass protection. I trust him to not fumble the football. He can run, like you said, he can catch. So it's frustrating, but hopefully he can get back out there. But yeah, dude, Christian McCaffrey's legit. I mean, he's definitely legit.
yeah. Okay. All right. I think we're getting to that time where actually, you know what? Here's what we'll do before we make predictions real quick. So we had a trade in the NFL today. Carlos Hyde traded to the Jaguars. The reason why this is kind of important. It's to look at what the draft compensation is. Only a fifth-round pick sent. So goes back to Le'Veon Bell. I think this Le'Veon Bell trade is going to happen on Monday.
Dude, if it happens on Monday, I will be hyped as long as we're not giving up a first-round pick, which I don't think Howie Roseman would ever do. Second-round pick, I could live with. Still not ideal, but I could live with it because Le'Veon Bell is that good. I don't think Pittsburgh wants him back in the locker room. I know the O-line is out on him. I saw, him and Connor kind of tweeting back and forth. Connor said something in the media about how Le'Veon supports him. They're going to say that. I really think the team's out on him. You can
Yeah.
tell by the way they celebrate when Connor scores. I mean, it's a great story for them too. So the guy that's saying he's going to sit out the half the season and not care about his teammates for the money, I get it. It's a business decision. They probably get it, but you're going to want to play with a guy that has beaten cancer and is scoring touchdown after touchdown, running the ball well, catching the ball well. That's what they're going to want to do. So it makes sense to trade him. Whether the Eagles would be able to retain him, who knows? But for this season, man, I mean, if we put him on this offense, watch out. Watch out.
Yeah. And I think like I've made this video before. I think Howie Roseman's been playing hard to get for about a month. He's been putting out all these feeler reports for all these different running backs and weapons. But the one guy you kind of weren't hearing about was Le'Veon Bell. That's all strategic, people. Hey, maybe it won't happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so it wouldn't be the first time I'm wrong, but I'm just looking at the fit. Everything makes perfect sense. You look at how you beat the Rams. You need to attack their linebacker. You need to run along the edges, away from Sue, away from Donald. So sweeps, outside zone. You match them up against linebackers in the slot. Le'Veon Bell is going to help you beat the Rams.
He would work so well in this offense. He would fit seamlessly in.
Perfect.
It would be incredible. And to give Carson Wentz a weapon like that, along with Ertz and Jeffrey, dude, I honestly, I've been getting ahead of myself here, but if we get him, Carson Wentz can put up big enough numbers to get right back in that MVP conversation like where he was last year. So, I mean, dude, I would be ecstatic, man. Like, if that happens, expect a text or a phone call.
Yep, absolutely. We will be doing a emergency bitter dingbats if Le'Veon Bell's traded on Monday. So we've already talked about this with Philly 500 and I. Okay, so prediction time.
All right. Well, I mean, we've talked about the game. I don't know if people could tell by the tone of my voice, but yeah, I think we're going to win. Like I said, I think we're going to be able to move the ball. I don't think it's going to be a huge performance by the offense, but they're going to do enough, make enough plays to win. I think the defensive line will get pressure. I expect a couple turnovers, at least two. Cam's mistake prone, so I expect that. We're playing at home. I got us 27-23.
Okay. I've got basically the same score. I got 27-24. I don't think this game's going to be easy. I don't think Carolina is like that good, but I think they match up well with their defense. I'm hoping that they can get Cam Newton frustrated again. It seems like Cam doesn't really play the Eagles that well. So that's what I'm hoping for. I got 27-24.
Dude, I mean, I don't care how it gets done as long as it's another win in the win column. That's all I care about. So we'll see. It should be definitely a competitive game, though, because Carolina, although they're up and down and inconsistent, they are tough.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to pull up the chat real quick. I'm going to see if we have anything that anybody wants to say. Got any questions? FD, my man Foolish Demon is using the EDP method. Get blown the fuck out. 2-4, here we come.
That I do not think we are going to get blown out. I hope we don't. I hope it's just some reverse psychology there, like the EDP method is. But there's no way. If we get blown out, man, I'm not going to work Monday. Just kidding.
I agree with McMullen to a point where we don't look at the entire league and realizing everyone gets beat. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense. I mean, obviously everyone gets beat. There's been one
get beat.
Maybe that's what he means. Yeah, maybe that's what he means because that is true.
I mean, I've been defending Jalen Mills all season long, and I don't even think he's that good.
I don't think he's great. I mean, he's an okay cornerback. He's got his deficiencies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it goes back to everything else. It's like if the pass rush isn't getting home, if they're applying the third least amount of pressure out of all defenses in the league, how can you blame Jalen Mills and not the D line? The D line is what's supposed to prevent the double moves and the deep passes.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, they haven't been doing that. They haven't been consistent, which that exposes your corners. And when you have a physically limited corner like Jalen Mills, he's going to get beat deep. I mean, he has to get better against a double move. But, it's like why they call it a team sport. Like, it's not always on one guy. It's, we don't know what the scheme is half the time, and most people don't even understand like what coverages are. So half the time he's probably had to have safety help, and people are flaming him because he gives up the big play, and he was expecting help. I mean, in today's NFL, if he's matched up against a speed receiver, you have to give him help.
Yes, yeah. I mean that's why we've been doing all those film studies. Like Brennan's like, I've never seen a cornerback take so much heat for not playing that bad.
Yeah, I mean it's just that's honestly, I love the city, but that's the way the city is, man. Like they're gonna get on players bad, even if they don't really deserve it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think he's played that great. There was a couple weeks there where it was really bad, but he's better, and I thought he would get back to being better, and he was definitely better last week. So
Yeah. Someone's asking, do you think we can repeat without Bell?
without Bell,
I
oh
say
god.
no. No.
The bias in me wants to say yes, but I think the Rams are too good, and I don't think we're gonna have. If we had home field advantage, if we didn't lose all those games, I would say yes. If that was still
That's what it goes back to. It's like I at this point I don't see the Eagles being better than a 2, and they're probably most likely not going to be better than a 3.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a bye. So yeah, with that being said, unless which injuries could always happen, and in the playoffs it's one game. But if I had to put money on it, I would not say we're coming out of the NFC unless we get Le'Veon. If we get Le'Veon,
Everything changes.
yeah, everything changes because he can change not only the dynamic of the offense, but man, that team will know that Howie Roseman's putting it all in to win it again, and that changes the attitude of a locker room.
Darson, by the way, that was Tommy March with the comment there. And we got Darson Patel. How do you feel about Trayvon Hester? So obviously, one of the main reasons why they were able to let go of, God, I'm blanking. What did I even just say?
Destiny
Dude, I'm
Vaya?
having a long day today. I'm sorry.
Dude, it's Friday, man. That's I was yawning on the way home too.
Oh my God. I had all right. So at work, I had one of those days. So I was producing a show and like somebody was on location and the Comrex wasn't working. We didn't get the thing working until 3 minutes before showtime. So I was freaking the fuck out. So all of my energy has already been expelled.
Yeah, well, no, it's yeah.
Oh, that's what I was talking about. Trayvon Hester.
Yeah,
right?
Destiny Vio was like we were talking about.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Yeah. So obviously when Trayvon Hester's looked pretty good. The fact that they can get rid of Destiny Vio, so that's part of the reasoning there.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I do think it comes back to that. It's got to mean Jernigan's coming back. It has to.
Yeah.
Destiny Vio's not playing that bad.
Yeah. So they promoted him from the practice squad last week. So there you go. So they must be liking him.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles, their practice squad, they usually have some gems on there. They don't really give roster spots out to just mediocre players. They like to take chances on high upside guys. I think so. Yeah, we'll see what he's got to offer.
Okay. All right. I think that's pretty much it, unless we got more questions here. It's only going to take 1 to 2 injuries for the Rams to fall apart.
Yeah, if they were to the right players.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like you could say the same thing about us.
Oh, dude, I mean, it depends on who it is. I mean, if Todd Gurley goes down, yeah. If one of their defensive tackles or like if Marcus Peters and Talib can't stay on the field, of course that could change it. But if injuries happen, man. Look at us last year too. Like we lost all these key guys, and that they rallied around each other. So who's to say the Rams aren't the next team to do that? I mean, I honestly am becoming a huge Ram hater because of how good they are. But I hate it. Like I hate how good they are. It's so annoying. Sean McVay's a freaking genius.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Without him, golf would be screwed.
So we got 2 more questions that we'll answer, and then we'll head out. So Tommy March asked, "How would you feel about trading for Spencer Ware?" Honestly, like if they don't get a big time weapon, it's going to be underwhelming. So like a guy like Spencer Ware, I don't think he's moving the needle that much.
No, but he's he has experience. He can catch the ball out of the backfield a little bit. He would just be kind of another guy to add to the mix. So if they can do it cheap, then I'd be indifferent about it. I trust Howie, so it wouldn't move the needle. I agree.
And then Darson Patel asked who won the Carlos Hyde trade. I don't know if anyone necessarily won the trade. I mean, it might have been like a win-win because obviously Jacksonville, they had to do something. Leonard Fournette, that hamstring must be worse than they think.
Well, and they lost that other guy, not Yeldon, but the other guy got hurt, that Grant or someone.
Yeah.
They had to make a move. And I mean, honestly, if you're Cleveland, you're not going to win the division this year with how good Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati are looking. So you might as well let Nick Chubb get more carries. It makes more sense to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde he's a veteran back. He's not great. He's solid. I like him. To get him for a 5th-round pick for a team like Jacksonville is good, but for Cleveland to get a draft pick back and get rid of him and get Nick Chubb more opportunities, it's also good. So I agree. I think it's a win-win.
Yeah, so that's the kind of way I look at it. It's like you get rid of him to see what you have in Nick Chubb. I mean, maybe you didn't have to sign Carlos Hyde because they trade for him for like a 3rd-round pick or something.
I don't remember how they got him, but
or was he a free agent?
I think he was a free agent. If I have to guess.
Maybe he was a free agent.
If they gave him a 3rd-round pick for Carlos Hyde, dude.
Because I just remember they were like wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, I think he was a free agent. And honestly, dude, that GM they got there now is John Dorsey is his name.
Yeah.
Dude, he's legit. Like he's
I
made
like John
solid moves. Yeah, like the Cleveland Browns, man, for the next 10 years, I think they're going to be competitive, man. Baker Mayfield's legit too.
And yeah, you're right. So he signed a 3-year, $15 million deal, Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, and then they just got rid of that cap hit too. So
yeah, there you go. Okay. I like John Dorsey, and like a lot of people were talking about even the pick with Denzel Ward.
Yeah,
like a beast right now.
He looks like an absolute animal. I thought it was a bad pick, and then the other guy who Denver got, he hasn't done much at all. Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, and that's who everyone.
I thought they would take. So.
Okay, all right. So that's pretty much it. I forgot to say in the beginning of the video. So hit the thumbs up button. Hit it because I get like 5 cents like every time you click it. So it helps me. So if I can get like, I don't know how many is that, 20 likes gets me $1. So
yeah.
$1. There you go. I should have been asking in the beginning of the show though.
Give Adrian some beer money.
Yeah, I need some beer money. I want to go get some pumpkin beer.
Oh yeah, it's that time of year, man.
Yeah, the pumpkin, man, dude.
Yeah, I saw that's on tap. I was out with my buddy. It's on tap. I tried it. It was pretty good.
I tried something last night that was crazy good. I don't remember what it was called though. It was a 7.6. So I only needed a couple.
There you go.
Oh man, what was it called? Damn it! It was something like cool. It was a cool name to it. It was a pumpkin beer, but I don't remember what it was called. So yeah, so I was at an event last night, Alzheimer's event. I won some prizes, so helping out my man Sean Brace. Somehow I won. That's so funny. Like I probably shouldn't have been allowed to win, but I won. I won free Sixers tickets.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm probably going to sell them because I don't even want to go.
I was going to say, what game are you going? I got partials again, so
it's the Hornets game. It's on a Saturday night.
Oh yeah. See, we got one of the games we got is the Suns, and I'm hyped to see DeAndre Ayton versus Embiid.
Actually, I just got a text. Read the comments. I asked the controversial question, and everyone got bitter. What did you say there, Mike Sweeney? Where are you at? Are you in my chat?
Maybe they got reported.
No. I don't see him in the chat. I hope they didn't like get rid of him because they got pissed off at him. Okay. Yeah, I don't see. Sorry, Mike. Whatever. All right, I'll talk to him after the show. We got to end this. And the people did hit the like button. I really appreciate that.
That's awesome.
16 likes. So that's less. What's that? It's like 80 cents. I got 80 cents.
There you go.
But the views count too. So it's like I get like $5 to $10 every video.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So there you go. All right, I got some beer money. Hopefully, that's James Worthington. I am Adrian Fetchu. Take care, guys, and let's go Birds.
Go Birds, baby.